Also in action here in Cardiff, the former European light middleweight champion Wayne Alexander, almost inactive for the last 2 years, but Alexander still has big ambitions. This was groomed as being a warm-up fight for him against Delroy Mellis, but let's pick up the action here for the closing stages.
He's always been strong, Delroy Mellis, and quite a decent puncher too at his level. He was 27 when he turned pro. Mellis, 32 now. 5th round. When you've seen Wayne Alexander looking so, well, volcanic at times in the past, it's quite hard to watch him like this, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and it really shows you, that getting in top shape and getting really ready and your timing right takes a long effort. It doesn't just happen in one fight or overnight. And this is showing that.
Getting hit a fair bit. Alexander actually telling the Mellis corner in the last round that Mellis couldn't hurt him. He does need the rounds, Wayne Alexander, and I'd like to see him getting back in the ring pretty soon after this one, providing he comes through it, of course, which is not a given.
Just seemed to stumble backwards a little bit there, Delroy Mellis.
Nice right hand that time from Alexander. Is he just starting to make a bit of a dent in Mellis, I wonder? Because whatever else he might have lost, and let's hope it's only temporary, he'll still have that punch power. Not many people have been able to take his punches, certainly at domestic level, and hang around that long. But I think he'd be ill-advised on what we're seeing here to go straight back in with Takaloo or something like that. And there is a bit of a changing of the guard going on in the light middleweight division. Steve Roberts losing the other night.
Well, not doing a great deal in this round, Alexander. He needs to just pick it up, work that jab a little bit. He hasn't used that very often at all.
Again, not much head movement from Alexander, perhaps a bit worryingly. Battle of the body punches for a moment there. And Mellis gets him with a decent right to the body as well. Alexander waves him in. Says, come on then, let's have some more of it.
Just playing to the crowd too much in this fight.
Which is all right if you're really dominant, but he isn't. Not really. I mean, he may be just looking at this as a bit of a workout. Here's a drink. 6th round. Black trunks, remember, Wayne Alexander. Winner of the British Championship, the European Championship a couple of fights ago. He's only fought once since winning it. And a world title contender as well.
Come out, time out. Line up the corner. Get the corner.
I think one of the gum shields might have come out of this. No, it's not a gum shield, it's a bit of ice. A bit of ice has got into the centre of the ring. It's cold enough in here without that. It's freezing in this ice rink in Cardiff tonight, and there's another bit there as well.
Box on! Box on!
Yeah, a couple of pieces of ice just probably shoved down the waistband to cool the fighters down.
Well, I think it's cold enough. It's great for the fighters this tonight.
Well, nearly got tagged with the right hand off Mellis there. Just left the chin up a little bit, Alexander.
All around the temple as well. What's worrying, I think, for Alexander is how easy he is to hit tonight. He does look to have slowed. His reflexes not as good as you'd really want to see them. And if we're carping a bit about Alexander's performance, it's because we remember how exciting he did look at his peak.
think he's allowed just a subpar performance because he has been out for a while, and I think this is something that he really has to look at and, and work on. But he'll know that. He'll know he's got a fair bit to do.
His absence from the rink, not really ever properly explained. I know he sent out an apology to his fans at one point about how little he'd been seen in the ring. I think there have been more appearances by Lord Lucan in recent months. But I'd say Alexander is doing enough to be winning the fight, wouldn't you, Glenn, here?
Yes, he's winning the fight. He's picking the better, cleaner shots, but still getting hit too much. The jab has landed time and time again from Mellis, and that's something, there's no upper body movement from Alexander.
And he's fighting a guy who hasn't won since September 2001, 2¼ years ago. So it's important to establish the kind of level of opposition he's in with here.
That's exactly right, although Mellis is trying hard in there. He is trying to make a fight of it.
Yeah, he is, and he has had some good wins in the past, but none of them lately. That's what makes this performance by Alexander a bit more worrying, is he's caught by the left hand there as well.
Well, that left hand looked dangerous, didn't it, as he caught him around the chin.
Blood from the nose now of Alexander. Delroy Mellis did enough to win that last round.
Okay, he's doing what he's supposed to do. I don't know if you really want this. Yeah? Okay. You do. Let's work for it then. Okay? It's not going to happen if you don't work for it. You understand me? Or if you don't tell me so you do and you ain't going to work for it. Okay? All right? Okay?
That's a good chat, isn't it, to the journeyman? Do you want to win this, or are you just going through the motions?
You're very responsible.
Well, that is James Coogan there. He's a proud man himself. He's a good fighter, and he will not want anybody in his corner to lose, and he's really trying to push that through and G Mellis up to try and pull something off here. As he's seen catch Alexander with some good shots, they'll still think he's got a bit of a chance if he can get Alexander flush on the chin.
Well, I think it's sad, really, what is happening with Wayne Alexander. Somehow his career has passed him by in the last 2 years, and he's come back in here tonight, and I don't want to be brutal, but he looks a bit of a shadow of himself, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, he does, Ian. But there is excuses for that. He's just got to sort down his own head. Does he want to fight or not? And why was he out of the ring and really make amends and get back in it and get in it often?
Again, he's caught repeatedly with head punches. He's taking them all right. But up against superior opposition to this, you just wonder what the effects of a defense this leaky would be. Every jab is ramming home. They've given him the pep talk in the corner, Mellis, and he's done something about it at the start of this round.
Yeah, that's a very good start. That jab's working well. He's got to keep doing that, Mellis, because that's a good punch that Alexander just cannot avoid.
It does look as if he's trying to remember what the lines were, Wayne Alexander, in there tonight.
Well, he'd have wanted to work out and wanted a few rounds, but not as tough as this, I don't think.
I'm sure he's going to tell us afterwards that he always had things nicely under control in there. All I can say from ringside is it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, he hasn't got that jab of Mellis under control. It's a good bit of boxing in this round from Mellis. His best so far.
Breathing quite heavily. There's a bit of blood from the nose of Alexander, which can't be helping him with the breathing. I think most people looking at this in the arena, they know the name Wayne Alexander. They've wondered what's happened to him recently, and they're looking at this and they're thinking, well, he has gone back, but Who knows, maybe he can get tonight out of his system and come back and look better next time, maybe.
Well, he really is. He should have shot in this round, hasn't he, Alexander? It just looks as if he's trying to remember what he had to do and what he used to do. And just, if he is remembering it, he's not able to do it.
It just makes you wonder if the fire's gone out a little somewhere inside. Had to take a lot of punches tonight, and there's another one, a right hand. You'd have to say Mellis has done more over the last couple of rounds by any stretch of the imagination. He's won that round by a long way. Well, what to make of all this? Let's have a look and see what the computer is making of things so far. In terms of punches landed, Alexander 93, Mellis 87. There's not a lot in it, is there?
No. 6 punches, Ian. That's not a lot at all, is it? I've still got Alexander a couple of points ahead with 1 to go, but he's made very heavy weather of it, and Mellis boxed very well in the 7th with some good jabs and some good hooks, and he just did not look in the fight in that round. Alexander could not remember what to do to get out of the way of that jab.
It's a shame, and it's a little bit sad to watch, but this kind of phase can come to any pro fighter, and it can come quite suddenly too. Okay, this is the 8th and last round of this one, and Wayne Alexander having to look to re-establish himself again in the fight here, because I think Mellis has come on quite strong over the last couple of rounds, and again he jolts Alexander with the right hand and the jab. He's hitting him with everything at the moment, can't miss.
Yeah, he's definitely finishing the stronger Mellis. Big right hand landing there.
Oh, and a left hook, and that was coming, and he lays out Alexander, who quickly tries to get up. 7. He gets up with a count at 7, 8 walk to me. But I'm not sure if he can go, and he stopped. He stopped, he protests Wayne Alexander, but it was on the cards. It's a great win for Delroy Mellis, but so sad to see Wayne Alexander like that. And Glenn, you could see it coming. You could see what was going to happen almost.
Well, he was very, very poor, wasn't he? He protested early on, and talked to the corner and stuck his tongue out, and looked as if he was having a bad night and just needed to get back into it. But as the rounds went on, certainly the 5th, 6th, 7th, it got more and more in Mellis's favour. Mellis outboxing Alexander, coming on, hitting him with good shots, and really looked as if he'd lost it all by the final round. Alexander, solid left hook finishes the job. Really was a heavy shot.
He did well to get up at all from it.
He did. We knew Mellis could punch, and he just deteriorated as the rounds went on. Alexander got hit with more and more shots, and then finally it's the big one that finishes the job from Delroy Mellis,
who completes his record of every time he's had a win. It's been inside schedule, but it's his first win for over 2 years, and only the 2nd time that Wayne Alexander has been beaten, the first time by domestic level opposition. The other one was against Harry Simon, a world-class fighter of the modern era. But I think Wayne Alexander has to think very, very carefully about whether he carries on in professional boxing after this.
Well, that's a lonely walk for Wayne Alexander. Just seen his career in tatters with that knockout defeat at the hands of Delroy Mellis.
Nicky, that's a fantastic win for Delroy Mellis, but where does that leave Wayne Alexander's career?
Well, that's the question. It was so sad to see one of our former champions losing that way. He'd obviously been very rusty. He'd been out for a long time, and he was in a very hard fight there, working his way just on top, and to see him get caught like that by a big puncher, it has to be said, it was sad.
Confident performance here in Cardiff from Eamon McGee, stepping up to welterweight, and a unanimous points winner over Jimmy Vincent, and some big fights beckon for McGee up the road. And in the top of the bill here, Britain's Young Boxer of the Year has produced another startling demonstration of power. Enzo Macronelli blasting out the South African cruiserweight champion Earl Moraes in 1 minute 30 of the first round. Next week, join us on Thursday night at 9 on Sky Sports 3 for Ringside as we look forward to one of the most exciting nights of boxing ever on Sky Sports. It all starts in Manchester. Top of the bill, Ricky Hatton against Ben Tackey. The big test for Britain's biggest name at light welterweight. That's Saturday fight night from 8 on Sky Sports 1 next week. And a little later, we'll be off to Atlantic City. 5 world title fights coming from there. Bernard Hopkins and William Joppy topping the bill for the undisputed World Middleweight Championship. My thanks for now to Nicky Piper. Great night here in Cardiff, Nicky. Join us again next week, please. Don't miss any of it, as Ricky Hatton tries to get among some really big names in world class.
I'm a knockout fighter, you know, I always go for the knockout, and this fight will be no different.
Me, I'm come to fight, not to with over there.
I can go out there, stop Ben Tackey, and, you know, be the first to do so.
He's a fighter, but I'm better fighter.